This early morning, let us explore the 46th verse of the Song of Enlightenment and then meditate. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is brought to you by the generosity of kind folks who support me on Patreon for about the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month. This morning, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two, but first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as General Leia Organa upon Ajahn Kloss under the guidance of Luke Skywalker, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. At any time during this morning's live stream, when you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them to your lives, immediately type a detailed question in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Let us chant the 46th verse of the Song of Enlightenment. There are many translations of this text. This particular translation is becoming my least favorite version. What the mind creates, the body suffers or endures. No need to claim injustice, so shift the blame. If you are hoping to avoid karma's endless fires, do not criticize the Tathagata's true teaching. Now, truthfully, I find the rendering of this verse to be completely incongruent with the literary momentum of the previous 40 plus verses, which really causes me to view this translation of this verse dimly. So here is my commentary. Stressors abound, circumstantial, physical, interpersonal, and mental. The tyranny of our survival drives our sufferings compound. Oh, that rhymed. Didn't even mean to. The relief we seek comes not from fatalism, but from mindfulness and meditation. So that's my contradiction. Take it too with a grain of salt. So I'm going to click, hopefully, the right button in the right sequence, for a refreshing change of pace. And this should bring us to this morning's primary practice text that I've named Diamond Mind's Easy Tantra. Consider, if you will, a photograph of a statue depicting two Buddhas sporting in tantric union. This could be described in Sanskrit as Vajra Sarva Karma Mudra, in Tibetan as Dorje Sempa Yabhyum, and in English as Diamond Mind Mother and Father. The iconography of this yidam, or archetype of enlightenment, functions merely to organize the 8 figures of speech necessary for deeply transformative contemplations. So in other words, there is no requirement for blind superstition or faith. So, quick like a bunny, I'm going to hit Control G 3. The screen's going to go nuts for a few minutes while I edit. Please bear with me. Let's hit enter and escape. Now, I'm going to do the old copy and paste. So let's hit copy, and now let's get ready for the old paste-a-rooney. Okay. Let's hit paste. And go back to the beginning. Let's go back to page 3. And now, let's check the display. Okay. So I'm going to call this compassion and the 3 marks of reality. Okay. And what would that be? That would be stress or dukkha. That would be compassion or karuna. That would be change or Nika. Haha, I'm on to you. And lastly, that would be selflessness or anatta. Okay. So let's dig right in. We're going to, so superstitiously, a literalist might superstitiously think we are literally asking for someone to sit on our head, which seems like a real strain of our neck. Actually, what we're doing is inviting our subtle energies, real or imagined, to gather at the crown of our head. We can do this quite simply during our inhalation by silently and mentally reciting the invocation, Lama, come to this crown, and during our exhalation to physically relax as best we can while chanting this 6-syllable mantra, Om Vajra Sattva. Om Vajra Sattva, Om Vajra Sattva, Om Vajra Sattva, Om Vajra Sattva. That was invigorating. And now the silent version. During the inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the first half, containing 3 syllables, Lama Kam. During the exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the final 3 syllables, To This Crown. Oops, 3 marks of reality. All right. There's this myth that if you can quote something in Sanskrit or Pali, it must be true. No, it's just kind of fun. If you've just joined me, welcome aboard. Now I can hear the first line of Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Un momento. I'm doing some editing this morning, guys. Grab a cup of coffee, pet your pup, or stroke your cat, whatever makes you happy. Let's see. That'll work. Luckily, that's an easy remedy. Okay, so during our inhalation, we can silently and mentally recite our rhetorical question. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can into the recitation of the mantra. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. Let's copy that, go over yonder. 1, 2, 3, hit paste, and adjust the size. Oh, I misspelled it. I understand where I misspelled it now. Okay, that's always nice to have a clue, you know, for an interesting change of pace. One moment. So during this inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the empathetic intention. Om Vajrasattvam, 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 Vajrasattvam. Now, this kind of seems odd. It makes me wonder if I actually, I guess not. Okay, that's more. Okay, here we go. Doesn't look quite centered to me, but maybe I'm just a lopsided son of a gun. Come on, coordination, don't fail me now. All right. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. And now we come to the fourth contemplation. Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Aha. Having completed our outer contemplations, we turn now to this morning's first of two silent meditations. Our opening silent meditation, you could describe it as, arguably. This awareness and letting go is known by many names, including a great completion stage tantra, as opposed to lousy completion stage tantra. And despite the grandiosity of its name, it's actually really simple. We're going to demystify this thing that is sometimes described as Hatha Yoga by noticing the play of mind as we, so we're not controlling it. We're not concentrating. We're not saying I'm going to look at this and everything can fuck off. We're not doing that. We're just being completely vulnerable to the present moment. Whether that present moment we notice something internal or external, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. We're just noticing it. And while we do, we silently and mentally, while we're doing that, while we are silently, mentally, and quickly reciting the word watch. Then we're relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature as we exhale, while silently, mentally, and more slowly reciting relaxing. And it's simple because watch has one syllable and relaxing has three syllables, so it makes sense that one might take a little bit longer. But this is more of a sniff and this is more of a relaxation, just like the name infers. So let's sit up nice and tall and have a go at it. Having concluded our opening silent meditation, we now proceed to our inner preparatory practices, also known as Ngondro. During our inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the contemplation. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging, which could serve as an antidote to basically selfishness. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. As an antidote to pride, we could contemplate, may I rely upon the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. As an antidote to defensiveness, we could silently and mentally contemplate, Lama, may I regret the harm I've caused others and resolve to master this path of kindness. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. As an antidote to greed, we could contemplate, Lama, I offer my circumstances, body, relationships, and mind. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. As an antidote to confusion, we could contemplate, Lama, please blend with my heart-mind. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. So those were micro contemplations. Contemplations done for one breath each. We're now going to perform, contemplations done for 4 breaths each. We're going to practice 4 contemplations of love and then 4 contemplations of letting go. This could be described with this type of contemplation can be described by many things, including generation, stage, tantra. We're going to begin by reviewing the meaning of the mantra. Please chant with me as best you can. So here's the trick to chanting. We chant in a monotone, except for the first syllable and the second to last syllable. That's why I call this personally bookend chanting. Om I invoke the diamond, take 2. Om I invoke the Vajra diamond-like strength of a sattva mind well trained in love and letting go. Supplicating with her may love and letting go be mastered by all. So basically what we're saying is, hey, I intend to contemplate love and letting go. I wish to master it and help all others do likewise. We don't want to be selfish like, Cartman on South Park. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Guess that's an old reference. That reference is probably close to 24, 25 years old. I might need new references. Let's bring the 4 bases of mindfulness into the path of love. As we chant the mantra, I could feel as if diamond rays were emitting from a thumbnail size horizontal 6-syllable mantra rosary at our heart. Lavishing minds, communication, bodies, and circumstances, with good fortune, health, love, and wisdom centered and spontaneous. Okay, so now we've engaged our imagination. Come, let us bring our experience of the mental into the path of love. First, so here's the basic method. Anybody can recite a mantra. That begs the question, what's the difference between just mantra recitation and mantra meditation? Glad you asked. To transform mantra recitation into mantra meditation, we need two things. Number one, as we chant the mantra, we want to physically relax as best we can. That's pretty easy to do. Part two, when we breathe in, because we got to breathe in, or you'll tip over and scare the poor dog. But when we breathe in, we're going to silently and mentally recite a loving intention. Now, this loving intention is pretty cryptic, so we flesh it out here. Please chant with me. May all minds of all beings know me as peaceful and wise as our Buddha's mind, symbolized by a one-syllable mantra known as a Sitile or Bija mantra. So, there's nothing mystical or magical. We're just working with figures of speech, metaphors and similes and the like. Why do we do that? Because we evolved to think symbolically. Our earliest ancestors perceived. And then after a very long period of time, they began recalling perceptions and anticipating perceptions, and that became the neural armature, or scaffolding, upon which the ability to think, the ability to emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine, as well as perceive, evolved upon. If I was fancy, I would call it a neural architecture, but I try not to use words I cannot spell. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. So I've experimented with pronouncing this Tibetan style. I prefer to practice this mantra Sanskrit style, not because I'm a snob, just because for me the energy feels different, and as a disabled guy, I need to select my energies really carefully, or I won't have enough oomph to get through the day. Because no one wants to squander their life on the couch, watching YouTube videos, glazed-eyed, slack-jawed, and mouth breathing. That's just no fun to me. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. Now, some people say, hey, this sounds like desire. Ain't desire bad? Well, it's funny you should ask that, because in the Buddha taught the Eightfold Path, and the second fold of the Eightfold Path was right aspiration, which infers there's a wrong aspiration. So right aspiration is basically a fancy pants way of saying wishing love. So wishing that people be wise instead of stupid is the loving thing to do. Om Vajrasattva, 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 Now we're going to bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of love, whether our experience of the interpersonal be professional, personal, platonic, or intimate. May all relationships of all beings be as joyful and loving as the Buddha's communications symbolized by the six-syllable mantra. Om Vajrasattva, 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 Om Vajrasattva. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. Now let us bring our experience of the physical into the path of love. Now, in my mind's eye, I just started cueing the 70s porn music. Boom, chicka, bow, bow. Because part of me is still 12 years old. So, may all bodies of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health depicted in Buddhist thought of the blissful body of a Yidam Flora and archetype of enlightenment. So that's just it. We're looking at these beautiful statues of two Buddhas sporting in tantric union, not because they're gods or goddesses to be believed in or supplicated, simply because they are archetypes that remind us of robust health. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. 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 Now let us bring our experience of the circumstantial into the path of love. May all circumstances of all beings be as safe and fortunate as a Buddha's real or imagined paradise for land of Avanti. You know, there's this myth that if you're spiritual, you won't care about other people's physical needs, but that doesn't sound like love to me. How can we not care when there are people, whose countries or when people are being murdered by soldiers or police officers? How can we not care when people are hungry, naked, homeless, without education, medical care, or fulfilling employment? Those are fundamental needs, and we are supposed to care about others. In fact, we evolved to care about others. That's why we have mirror neurons. Let's continue. So we're using the word boon here as a monosyllabic synonym for good fortune. Oh, let's add that here. So let's see. Now, have the safety, good fortune, or boon. There we go. Now I won't have to explain myself as much. Let's put an insert, a little chanting bit. There we go. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. 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 So having completed 4 sets of contemplations pertaining to love, we're now going to prepare for 4 sets of contemplations pertaining to, drum roll please, letting go. First, we're going to explain what we mean by the word emptiness. As we take 2. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could now feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Now, what's a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a beautiful cloudless morn, which, although compelling to the eye, is not graspable to the hand. So, in reverse order, let's bring our experience of the circumstantial into the path of letting go. So now we're going to play with rhetorical questions. So before we played with loving intentions, now we're going to play with rhetorical questions. So by definition, a rhetorical question is a question we ask without seeking a conscious answer. It's kind of, in terms of contemplation, a rhetorical question is kind of like uploading, or I should say downloading an app onto your smartphone. But it's only one line. It's only 8 syllables. It may be cryptic, so we're going to flesh it out first. How is it that as we inhale, our circumstances could appear quite vivid? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as a paradise or vati of light. Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva. Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva. Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva. Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva. Let us bring our experience of the physical into the path of letting go. How is it that as we inhale, all bodies could feel quite sensual? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as an octopoiodom of light. Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva. Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva. Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva. Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva, Om Vajra Salva. Let us bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of letting go. How is it that as we inhale, the interpersonal experience of communication could be quite resounding? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, it could feel as non-graspable as a mantra of light. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. 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 Finally, let us conclude our contemplations by bringing our experience of the mental into the path of letting go. How is it that as we inhale, we could perceive our mind's functions more clearly? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as assertable, like cedar of light. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. Oh, excuse me. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva. Ooh. We come now to this early morning's practice, final silent meditation. It is known by many names. Some call it, let's see if I remembered to put it here. If I put, let's see, paste, Fabu. Okay. TH. So we come now to this letting go, which is known by many names, such as completion stage tantra. There are many forms of completion stage tantra. This is arguably the easiest. And since the goal of all forms of completion stage tantra is identical, then why not do the easiest way and get on with mastering the path? As we relax into our exhalation while mentally and slowly reciting the adjective emptiness, all the sensations that we felt during our inhalation, while mentally and quickly reciting the verb feel, can now feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although is tantalizing to the eyes, is intangible to the hands. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Let us seal this early morning's meditation and contemplation session with 5 well wishes. May all my speech, forms, and lots be as wide, loving, healthy, and fortunate as time in minds real or imagines it, mantra archetype in paradise. May all beings like diamond mind master the eightfold path as well as liberate all others. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness, flow spontaneous and uncontrived. At the very end of each being's life, may we take immediate and auspicious rebirth. Master the Buddha's path and then help all others do likewise. May everyone be free from suffering, may everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel that I have earned it, you could type something in the chat window, give this live stream a thumbs up, share it with your friends, or head on over to Patreon and support this live stream for about the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month. Or not. The choice is yours. I leave it to you. Either way, in about 2¼ hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's mid-morning meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.